Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brownwoods TCG, and we are back at it with another banger of a video. But this is going to be a championship match. This was the final round of our off-meta Monday tournament, and obviously we were playing Red Dragon. Red Dragon going into Red Green Oden in the finals. So, y'all seen the last three matches. Each game was a little different, right? Each game I showed a lot of the different weapons in my deck. And this last game is the culmination of all those matches, and it's really crazy how it worked out. This match has a little bit of all three of the matches prior. So, just to start it off, we're going to go ahead and find that 2K Brook and add it to hand. Our opponent, 2 Don. Let's see what he ends up doing. And he passes. So this tells me that he does not have any of his searchers. He doesn't have his 1 Don searcher Otama or his 1 Don searcher Momonosuke. So that's really good for us. Obviously, he doesn't get a search off. I get a search off first turn and he doesn't. So we're already up. I tap 2 Don for Brook. Attach 2 Don over here to my leader. And swing 7 to life. Our opponent takes, bring him down to 3 life. Leader effect, attach 2 Don to Nami. Attach 1 active Don to Nami and swing 5 to lead. So I didn't have the Makino play, which would have been the best player here, but when we don't, we have to pivot. So instead of sending 2 7s, it's a 7 and a 5. Obviously we can't get God Hand every single game like the last game where we hit this perfect combo, but with a Makino, so y'all saw how strong that was. So it's a different variation of that. It's going to be a 7 and a 5 instead. So instead of taking 2 life hits, it kind of gives us a life and then a card out of his hand. So he swings to Nami and passes here with 2 Don active, so telling me once again that he still has not seen any of his searchers. So back to us, we do have the Brook on the field. Just trying to figure out who we want to bring out to the dogfight. I bring out Nami, activate leader ability to attach the same rested Don to Dragon, and I swing 7 to lead. 7 to lead here. Nami is going to go ahead and give us that Don Recycle, activate main ability, which works in tandem with leader ability from Dragon, which is pretty much Don Recycle. Don Recycle is going to be a very key element to this deck. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out the other video that I posted a while ago, like a week or 2 ago, on Color Theory Red. I talk all about red cards, red leaders, red win conditions. So if this deck intrigues you, and if you want to pick it up, But if you want to learn a little bit more about what playing red really is about, weaknesses, pros, cons, win conditions, best cards, strategies, all red, find that video on my YouTube channel and watch it. It's going to make you a better player. I promise you. So moving on to, us, we swung 5 with Brook, and then we tapped 3 to bring Zoro out and brought another 5k attack to our leader. Just slowly ripping cards out of my opponent's hand, and at the same time bringing him down to 2 Don. Because once he's at 2 Don, guess what? Our Kid and Killers are activated, which means that they're swinging 7ks regularly. So our opponent brings out the Izo 5-drop on play, attach 1 rested Don to Green Oden, which is essentially the same kind of ability that Nami has. So he kind of has his own Don recycling cards of his own. And then he swings 8 to Zoro, because he is buffed by 1 off his own leader ability. If you guys don't know what Oden does, it is whenever you have a 5-cost, I believe 5-cost Land of Wano type character on the field, and you have Don times 1, when attacking, gain 1,000 power for until the start of your next turn. So it makes Oden a 6k leader for my attacking turn. It's kind of annoying, but I didn't think of it I didn't think of it too much, because I said, okay, cool. Like, even if I'm still swinging a bunch of 7s, that just means you're going to be giving me 2ks out of your hand. So I was looking at the bright side of it. I wasn't just all doom and gloom. So yeah, once again, he swung 8 to my Zoro. I decided to give it up. There's no way I'm going to ever counter that out, because once my rush characters get an attack in, on to the next. I am not saving my rush characters ever unless I'm going for game next turn, and I need that attack to secure game next turn. So here I tap 5 for Chaka, activate Nami leader ability, give 1 dot to Chaka, then activate Chaka ability, give 2 Restodon to my leader. So that was a little triangle offense y'all just seen right there, from Nami to Chaka to Dragon, and then it's about to go from Dragon to Brook. So it's about to be a 4-way connection. This is a 4-card combo right here. Nami, give 1 to Chaka. Chaka, give 2 to Dragon. Dragon swings 7. But our opponent's at 6k, right? So he has some protection right here. So he activates Izo's ability, trash 1 card, give a character minus 2k. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about that. I should have swung 8. I should have swung 8. I forgot about that card. I've lost against this card in a championship match when I was playing Reputable Law too. So this will probably be the last time that I ever forget what this card does. Trash a card, give a character minus 2k. So it pretty much nullifies my attack because Oden is a 6k leader during this turn. Activate leader ability. Give it to Brook. And I don't even know how much I'm swinging there. I didn't hear myself. But he gives me a 2k counter. So that means I swung 7. 7k and he gives me a 2k counter. So pretty good for us, right? I sent 2 attacks and I got 2 cards out of his hand. It was like that's really good for us. We'll take that any day. 2 attacks, 2 cards out of life. I'll take that. So back to our opponent, right? You know, I do have the Chaka on the field with the Nami. So Nami is going to be able to stay on the field for the whole game because I don't think my opponent has any removal. So this Nami is just going to be recycling 1 Dawn every turn that she's alive. That Chaka is going to be recycling 2 Dawn every turn that it's alive. And Dragon is going to be recycling 2 Dawn every turn. So combined with these 3 cards, I'm getting a plus 5 Dawn on top of however much Dawn I have on the field. So, you know, that turn I was at 7 Dawn. So 7 plus 5, that's 12. I essentially used 12 Dawn when I really only had 7 Dawn on the field. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. But hey, this deck is broken, yo. If you guys want to win games, if you guys want to be swinging, using 15 Dawn on your 5th turn like I did last game, y'all got to learn how to play this right. You got to learn the fundamentals because there's a lot of numbers, a lot of combos. You need to know like which one to do first, where to swing the Dawn from. You know what I mean? A lot of mistakes can very easily be made. So, and I think that's okay. You know, mistakes are part of the game, right? You learn from mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and you know sometimes they win me games, sometimes they lose me games. Or wait, how can a mistake win me a game? I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'll be making plays and I surprise myself with the things that I can come up with where I think it's a mistake, but it ends up being super 5-head. So our opponent has 4 to bring out the 5-cost Yamato Bomb. I hate this card. I hate seeing this card. It's so strong. A lot of people underrate this card. A lot of people don't even know what it does. It's pretty much just a 5-cost banish and double attack. Just it has banish and it has double attack. So our opponent swung into Brook there, and then he swung 7 to lead. I take. This is the first time that we take damage all game. I'm not mad about it. My what, 5th Dawn turn, or no, 5th turn, 9 Dawn. I take my first life damage. So you can see the power of all my rushers and all my whole strategy, where it's like my opponent is forced to attack into my board, where I am able to attack into his life every turn. So forcing my opponent to play defensive while I'm just bringing in the offensive onslaught. So here, you know, I see the Yamato on board and I see him starting to amass his board in general. So I make a switch up. I completely hit my opponent with a pump fake and hit him with something completely different, where sometimes you need to do this when you're playing some games and your opponent is expecting, you know, you're going at a regular tempo, you're kind of scaling up, you know, you're playing your big bodies, and your opponent kind of already knows what to expect. So he's like, okay, next turn he's going to be a 9. He'll probably play Dragon. He'll probably just send like this, and that. So sometimes you got to pivot. Sometimes you got to just hit him with a little pump fake. You got to juke him out. You got to, you know, make him think you're going right and then go left. So right here, you know, I was considering the options. As you can see, you know, I like taking my time during my turns, really thinking stuff out. I sent 11k to Izo. I guarantee you he didn't expect this. Why did I send 11? Because I figured even if he has 2Ks, he goes 7 to 9 and then 9 to 11. He's not going to give me 3 cards to save that Izo. So I for sure kill the Izo. I destroy the Momonosuke with Nami. And I just gum jet pistol KO the Yamato. Get it out of here. Nami ability, attach 1 Dawn to Dragon. Chaka ability, attach 2 Dawn to Dragon and swing 8 to lead. Wow. That was crazy. Crazy move right here. Completely erased his whole board. Just leaving the 0 cost Otama Searcher, which is not going to be posing a threat to us at all. And, you know, sending an 8k attack at the very end. That's crazy. Y'all just seen the power of this deck right here. Chaka is broken. For anyone who doesn't run Chaka, hopefully that one play was enough to convince you, because if you can get these 2 cards on the field at the same time, it's plus 3 Dawn every turn. So like if you're at 10 Dawn and you have these 2 on the field, you're essentially at 13 Dawn. So you gotta think about it that way. Like as much as people might not want to use Chaka, like the Dawn recycle is such an integral part to this deck. There's a lot of characters that have abilities that have to do with needing a Dawn, needing 2 Dawn. So if you have Chaka to be able to give someone 2 rested Dawn at any time that he's on the field, because it's activate main, it's just disgusting. You never, sometimes you don't even have to, you know, rest Chaka. Sometimes you don't even have to attack with him if you don't have to. It's all about, you know, the board state. It's all about your strategy. Every game's going to be different, but I feel like, you know, these 2 cards in combination are like a 1-2 punch. That's disgusting, honestly. Like, you know, I keep saying this with all these Dragon videos. There's so many dimensions to this deck. Like the untrained eye might look at this Dragon deck and think that, oh, it's just a better Rush Zoro deck. It's just like a red, you know, swing to face deck. Okay, cool. You could think that, but when I hit you with this shit right here, when I hit you with the triangle offense, Dawn recycle plus 5 Dawn every turn, you're gonna be like, oh, how did I lose so fast? Like, I'm showing you why right here. If you guys want to be hitting people with these combos, this is what you need to do. These are the cards you need. Learn how to play these cards. Be comfortable with trying different combos out. Be comfortable with playing some cards that, you know, you've never used before, because you really got to step out of your comfort zone if you want to be better. Because there are a lot of cards in the game, and if you don't experiment and try different things and try different cards, see, this new card that came out maybe works with the OP-01 card. This Nami is OP-01 with this OP-07 leader. Wait, ST-01. This Nami is ST-01 with his OP-07 leader, literally from the beginning all the way to the end. Like, so you can see there's so many cards that were created in the past that, you know, probably weren't good until a certain leader comes around, or a certain character, or a certain event card. So the game is constantly evolving. I recommend you guys always stay learning, and you know, you could come across gems like this. Like my Dragon deck, it's super crazy. It just completely steamrolls people, blitzes people, and then it has so much integrated chemistry in between the cards that it's just super satisfying to play. Usually I never really feel that I have like a bad starting hand ever. Everything, you know, it just feels really balanced. So here, moving on back to the game, I'm calculating lethal right here. It looks like I'm calculating lethal because our opponent has 1 life. He has a grip of cards in hand. So I'm calculating lethal. See what I do. I send 8 to leader. This is a pretty 5-head, you know, numbers play right here, so please pay attention. So I sent 8 to lead because our opponent is at 6. So if I send 8 to lead, he's forced to give me 2 cards at a hand instead of giving me 1 card at a hand. If I send 7 to lead, he only has to give me a 2k. But I send 8 because he's at 6, and he gives me the 1 card counter, which buffs him to 2, buffs him 2k, and restands the character. So essentially it's a 1 card plus 2k. So you can think of it as a 2k counter. And just like I said, he needs to give me 1 more card to be able to successfully block this attack. So we just ripped 2 cards out of his hand. That's okay, because that's what I wanted to do with that first attack. That first attack was meant to take 2 cards out of his hand. It fulfilled its purpose. Now moving on to my next attack. You know, he has 1 life left, so I need to hit him I need to hit him successfully direct attack 2 times to life to end the game. So I'm just calculating it right here. So Chaka is at 6k. Our opponent has what? 2 cards in hand. Leader ability, attach 2 Dawn to Chaka. Swing 10 to lead, which our opponent cannot block even if he wanted to, because I don't think he has sufficient cards. And then I tap 4 for killer. Activate Chaka ability, attach 2 Dawn to Kid Killer, and swing 10 to lead. Dawn Recycle is king in this deck, and our opponent had only 2k counter. He could not defend that last attack, and that was game. I did have the Dragon card in hand, ready to hit the field. But there you have it right there. So essentially what? I was at 8 Dawn right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dawn, 8 Dawn, I forget, but it was a +4, like whatever Dawn I had, it was +4 because I recycled 2 Dawn with Chaka, and then I recycled 2 Dawn with Dragon leader ability. So there you have it. Extremely strong card. Dragon, new Dragon leader, super strong in the right hands. You know, obviously you need to have a strong support system around him, a lot of cards that enable him to be great. But I've had so much fun building this Dragon deck. Like I said, I've been building it for the last, I've been perfecting it and crafting it for the last like 2 months, ever since it first was released. I just remember reading it and I was like, oh wow, like two Dawn Recycle every turn? That seems kind of crazy. And you know, I started cooking on it with the help of a lot of people in my Discord. We have a whole channel with like I don't know, a bunch of people in there talking about Dragon and, you know, new cards that we could use, different strategies. A lot of people are talking about, like, you know, comparing this Straw Hat build versus the Revolutionary build. A lot of people that I know of don't even know about the Straw Hat build. I feel like I'm the only one who, you know, plays it like this. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I really, you know, ever since Dragon came out, there was really no guides or nothing. I just kind of jumped on Sim. I was looking at all the best cards, and then I also seen that new Shabody card, and I was like, wait, like I could just have a double Straw Hat Searcher, and started putting pieces together, and then thought of, okay, cool, like what if I just like have a bunch of rushers, a bunch of aggression, and then a bunch of 2Ks, and then a bunch of cards that kind of like enable everything to kind of flow and, you know, mesh together perfectly. And I came out with this perfect mix of cards that you know, won me this tournament. So there you have it. That was the Dragon Championship Series. I hope you guys liked it. If you haven't seen the other videos, I highly suggest you do. All 3 of those games were crazy, just as well as this one. The Dragon OP-07 is monstrous. If you guys want to try it, I'm going to leave the deck list right here in the description. I'm also going to leave the link to my Discord, so you guys can hop in there and be the first ones to know about any new decks that I post, any new content that I'm making, any new Brownwoods University courses that I'm working on. Everything. If y'all on my Discord, y'all gonna hear about it first. So go ahead and join that. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me whatever you guys want, and I'll let you guys know sooner or later what the next video, what the next series is gonna be. So thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Lates.